So I want to talk a little bit about one of the trickiest things for most work-study students, and that is submitting your hours. So the work-study website has links to the Google Forms that you use to submit your hours, but these will also be in Schoology every time they are due. There will be a monthly folder and two Google Forms linked as assignments in your Schoology course. Hours are due twice per month. I will send a reminder through the talking points text. If you've signed up for that, you'll get a reminder a day or two before. You can also go into Schoology and see the due dates there. The Google form will have a sort of a specific time period that you are submitting hours for. So your first one is going to be from August 31st through September 15th. The next one will be from September 16th to the end of the month, the end of September the 30th. They are always due 3 days after the last day of the time card, so on the 18th and the 3rd. That's why the reminds texts are a good idea, because it's kind of an unusual set of assignments. Let's take a look at an actual Google form that you'll be using. So this is the actual form for the first time that you're going to be submitting your hours. After September 15th, you will open this link up. Again, it'll be in Schoology, or you can get it from the website. And it gives you all of the directions of how to submit your hours, reminders that you are using numerals, no words, that you are breaking the hours down into decimals and not sort of the 1/2 symbol, it's 0.5. And then you're going to type in your information. And for each day during the time period, you will put in the number of hours you've worked. I don't need to know that you worked from 3 o'clock until 5:30. I just need to know that you worked 2.5 hours on a particular day. If you don't work on a day, put the numeral 0 in. They're required fields, so you'll have to put a 0 in on days that you don't work. At the very bottom, I will ask you to total those up. A little bit of math, but how many hours did you work for that entire time period? What is your hourly wage? Multiply those two to tell me what your earnings were. This is your gross earning. This is before taxes are taken out. And then there's a non-required field at the very bottom where if you have anything that you need to, a heads up for me, a reason that maybe you missed a day's work, or something that you want to talk about and you want to make sure I get in touch with you about, you can always enter that in that last field of the timesheet. So that's a sample. If you've got questions on how to use the timesheet, absolutely get in touch with me. The other thing that's a little tricky is twice during the semester, and actually the first time this will come up is at the very beginning of October. I want to see a copy of your pay stub. Now, you might get a pay stub that looks like the one on the left side here. If you get a paper check, it's the part that you tear off before you deposit it into the bank. It tells your total hours, it tells how much has come out in taxes, things like that. I need to see that. So there's a couple different ways that you can send it to me. If your paycheck gets direct deposited, which many people do, you still can access all of this same information. If you don't know how to access this information, you need to talk to your supervisor at work now so they can give you the logon for your payroll access. You have a right to see all of this, to make sure you're getting paid the correct hours, to make sure that the correct amount of taxes is being taken out, and all of that. So if you have never accessed this before, start working on it now, because by the beginning of October, I need to see it. The other thing that you want to keep in mind with your pay stubs is you want to make sure that I'm seeing a current pay stub. It may not necessarily be the exact one that is due when you turn your hours in, but I want to see a pay stub within about 30 days of the time period. Again, any questions on that, feel free to get in touch with me.